This is how to make a correct native banga stew, popularly known as Ofeakwu. As an Igbo babe, we know they carry last when it comes to making delicacy like this. Without wasting so much time, sweetheart, let's get started. I will start by cooking my pan flute, which is called Akwu. I have already cooked and freezed this before, so all I have to do is to warm it for me to be able to extract the juice. While that is on fire, let's prep and know our ingredients because it's very important. Starting with dry fish, which is called azumbo. For me, it is non-negotiable when it comes to making banga stew. The second one is onions. We all know that we can't do without it, followed by this tiny black thing called okpei. This is small but mighty. It helps to build flavor just like crayfish. Like, who makes banga stew without crayfish? That is how it's supposed to be with that black thing called okpei. It's a game changer. And for our vegetable, we have ugu leaf and scent leaf, which is called nshanwu in my language. And for our spices, we have fresh pepper, salt, and seasoning cubes. For this fresh pepper, you can use habanero, yellow pepper, or Cameroon pepper, any of choice. On to the next, which is seasoning our protein. And for this recipe, I use chicken and fresh Titus. Since I'm going to be using the meat stock in my stew, all I have to use is some seasoning cubes, salt, and onions. At this point, my pan flute is ready. All I did was to use my mortar to pound it. But if you have a strong food processor, you can actually use it as well. But in case if you don't have both the mortar and the food processor, there is a way my mommy used to do it when we were growing up. Even though we have mortar, I don't know, I think she preferred doing it that way because it's much faster. She will pour the pan flute in a pot, then proceed to use her hand to wash it, kind of squeezing it out. And before you know it, under 2 minutes, everything will just separate itself. It's very easy, but your hand go pain you. You can also use a strong bottle to pound it inside the pot. It will also work. Once you are done, add water inside the pan flute and extract the juice. Make sure it's not too watery because it will make the cooking process very long. Once I'm done extracting the juice, I always love to transfer the juice in a bowl and let it settle for some time before pouring it inside the main pot. At this point, you are going to see a lot of particles under the bowl. I think it's much better that way than transferring it inside the main cooking pot immediately after washing it. This will make people to bite sand while eating. Most times, it's not even sand, it's just the head of the pan flute. Anyways, let's move to the next one. While making banga stew, you need to have patience because everything needs time to cook. I first cooked this banga juice for 20 minutes before adding my onions, crayfish, pepper, okpei, and my dry fish. Then proceed to cook for another 20 minutes. And sweetheart, avoid covering your pot for a long time while making banga stew or banga soup because that might trigger your banga juice to start bubbling. And if that happens, you're going to lose your red oil, which will help to enhance the soup or the stew. After another 20 minutes high heat cooking, my banga is finally ready. How to know that your banga is ready is once you see oil separate from the legs of the stew, that means it's good to go. And this is the reason why I say you shouldn't add excess water while extracting your banga juice because if you do, you might end up spending 1 hour while trying to dry it up. I always go for first and second wash while extracting my juice. It is not so thick, but it's very easy to work with. At least after cooking it for about 30 minutes, it will thicken up. And for the rest of the juice, you don't need to throw it away. Don't be worried. All you have to do is to store it in your freezer for your soup. Once the red oil has separated itself from the banga juice, I will go ahead and add my seasoning, salt, and throw in my protein. And for my fish, I don't want it to break inside the stew, so I went ahead and air fry it to make sure it's properly dried up before adding it inside my stew. I don't know why I feel like somebody somewhere is expecting me to add curry and thyme. If I ever catch you put curry and thyme inside your stew, matagis. And we are going to tell me the color of your problem. I'm telling you for the last time. Curry and thyme has nothing to do with banga stew. Hi sweetheart, if you're hearing my voice for the first time, my name is Stephanie. I'm a food content creator. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel because you're going to enjoy it here. Welcome. And for my returning viewers, my OG, thank you for always standing by me for your comments, your likes, and your share. I really appreciate it. Once everything has married together and your stew has gotten to your desired thickness, go ahead and add your scent leaf, which is your inshamu, and cook this for about 3 minutes before adding your ugu leaf. I don't like leaving my vegetable on fire for a long time. Once I put my ugu leaf, I put off the fire immediately because I love that green color. Let me know in the comment section if this is how you make your own banga stew at home. But to be honest with you, I would love to give you, but I know that your mommy teach you not to collect things from strangers. If not, I will have sent you some. And sweetheart, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel before going. And you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook with the same username, which is Flavor by Steph. One, see you on my next video. Bye. Mwah.